Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome, folks. It's been a while since we've actually done a stream on the PC side, and again, it's been a couple of weeks that we've skipped it, and it's not because we haven't been racing. It's just because we've been a bit busy over the last couple of weeks, but we are back in action. Tonight, or should I say this morning, early hours at the Monza track, Logistical Nightmare Racing, Tuesday night, one make series, still ongoing, round 3, and currently looking at the boys doing their penultimate qualifying session, which runs at about 10 minutes in total. So because we're doing the one make series and because we wanted to give the new DLC pack brought to you by the ACC game makers, this evening we've got this beautiful and I'm probably going to say absolutely gorgeous looking Lambo. I mean, in all fairness, just look at that. I would expect, well, I would have initially expected that this Lambo is probably slower than the GT3 cars, but I've heard rumors that this thing could be ridiculously quick on a Monza track. So in comparison, I would expect GT3 cars doing a qualifying lap of about a 147, probably for the mad alien boys out there, 146s, if that is anything possible. So I am yet to see what these boys can bring up this evening. Again, the first boy out on the track is Mr. Stradom, who's currently leading the championship at the moment. Not that many individuals on track. Again, we all kind of understand that the GT3 cars are the most favorable track cars to choose from on any given racing day. But like I said, for some reason, I really believe that this car is phenomenally beautiful as we look at what Sean Stradom can bring up within his first lap, setting a good time qualifying session. And I think he's one of the faster boys out there at this moment. Yeah, there he goes, 149.6, which is quite quick, I have to add. So I was expecting like a 48, maybe a 47, but a 49.6 on this track with this car is quite an exceptional lap time. I think it probably is a little bit slower versus a GT3 car based on braking conditions, so it might not be as prominent from a braking standpoint as what we would get from the Lamborghini Huracan in the GT3 class. So, but it surely is quite rapid and quick. Again, it does look like Sean Stradom is completely on his own there, and moving over to Robson, who's currently in second place. The more I look at these liveries, the more I'm so loving it, because I think we should have had like a day race, because look at these camo features that has come out on these cars. I really wish we could have a better view of this, but that just looks absolutely gorgeous. That's Mr. Hardacre there, currently in third. Kel van der Berg has decided to remain in the pits, or he's gone back into the pits. Looking at Mr. Greening there. It is a very tricky scenario to view these cars with their beautiful colored liveries in the early mornings of Monza. But rest assured, there is no predicted rain for the race. So, a lovely normal break that we would classify as, or we do classify this as a break from our normal GT3 race seasons we have on Tuesday nights. Again, purely just because we want to give some love to the other cars that is within the Simracing game itself. Next week we're going to head over to Spa in a Porsche Cup car, which is one of the new Porsche Cup cars that has recently been launched. And I have to admit it, I am an absolute fan favorite of that car on that track. It's just phenomenally so much fun. So What we went with here is an Italian track with an Italian car. Favorite for favorite, so I'm expecting to see quite a bit of fun and entertainment here. Not so sure if I'm going to get the vast amount of viewers I would normally expect. Again, there's only a few individuals here racing this evening. Nonetheless, I will try and keep it as entertaining as possible. So, as it stands from a championship standpoint, Sean Stradom is leading this series by quite a bit of a gap at the stage. But he is being closely followed by Neil Bullion, the man currently sitting in 7th position with his camo orange, black and white Lambo there, which I would honestly admit catches my eye quite easily. And it's purely because I'm such a fan of the colors itself. But then again, he is currently second on the list of championship, the second fastest as well. Well, third fastest, my apologies for that. And he's being chased down by Paul Venter and Wilfred Robson, who's in 4th place. So even though this is a small championship, I can guarantee you that the points position at this stage is very close to one another. So anything can go. 3 more races after this. Again, I did speak about the Spa Porsche Cup next week, and then of course we are going to kick it off with a Kyalami race, which we've sort of made up as just a one-make series event, but with Kyalami on run 5, we are only going to feature the mid to rear engine cars. So again, on that track day, we are going to see a lot of boys in the Audis, Ferraris, Hondas, Lambos, and of course Porsche McLaren. I somehow suspect with the recent developments of the Honda, we would potentially see a lot of Hondas on track, and I think it's probably going to be a nice combination mix at this stage, but again, bringing something of a different flavor to everyone else. And then our last race for the season will be a Bathurst race, where we are just going to do a focal viewpoint of the front rear engine cars. No rear, mid rear, nothing, just front engine muscle. Okay, so 7 seconds of qualifying lap. Stradom is still in the top of the lead there. Doesn't look like anyone has particularly gotten close to matching him. Dave van Oevelen, however, is the man on the move. Doesn't make it to surpass the qualifying lap that Sean Stradom did do, but puts himself in a good 2nd place there. So I suspect if Van Oevelen gets a good race off, he is definitely going to challenge for position. Nel Bullion here is still trying to get a lot quicker. Now currently, ooh, great exit there. Gives them about a half a second up his time at this moment. So I definitely believe he thinks he can do far better than what he has been placed at the moment. Robson also on a quick move. Now Robson is just ahead of Nel Bullion. Looks like Nel made a big mistake, but hasn't lost a lot of time coming out the Lesmo there. Still up by half a second. Gal van der Berg is also trying to push as hard as he can to close this off. Robson up by half a second coming out of Ascari, so that's going to settle him very well. All he's got to do is be nice and easy into Parabolica. This is where it counts. If you slip too much, you're going to lose the rear end, then lose speed. That seems to have happened right there. Easy picking up the pace. Lost about 2 tenths there. It's absolutely unfortunate. Nell, on the other hand, has maintained his up point and he smashes it into second place. Just out qualified Overland there. So that was an ultimate lap there by this man. Currently in car 58, Nell Bullion, second up in the championship lead. Race conditions yet to start soon. And we're going to be set with. I need to see if I can do all these fancy moves that people do. Okay, so as we look at these beautiful Lambos from point to point into positions. First place taking pole, Sean Stradom, again with his magnificent time of a 1:49, closely followed there by Nell Bullion in second position with car 58. Not far off him, Jay Uvelin, who did have a smidgen of a second place front grid position in car 51. He is being chased down by Robson in car 764. Neil Greening in car 6 with that beautiful livery there. Oof, love the oranges, boys. Car 13, we have Mr. Wasabi in 6th place. Then, of course, in 7th, we have Karel van der Berg in car number 63, followed by Moy, Hardcore, sorry, in 5 to 8, followed by G Moy in car number 7 in 9th place, and then rounding it up to top 10 spots is Johannes van der Merwe in car 67. He is then chased down by Lee Bullion, car 73. Then we have R Duplessis in car number 3, and then I cannot see Jay Greeny in car 67. So that sort of rounds up the whole grid positions point to point. 13 boys on the grid this evening. Again, not a big number of sim races, and that's I honestly feel we should give more love to the other cars out there, but it is what it is. Not a fan favorite. But we will work with what we have, and I'm about 99% confident that we're just gonna have a beautiful race, clean start, and these boys are just gonna be absolutely amazing from the word go. I've got Katsu56 saying hello and hi. Hey Katsu, how are you, man? Yeah, it's kind of good to be back, I have to admit. I did love the short break, a bit of a holiday. So now I'm back with full enthusiasm and force. Happy to see the boys racing, and I think what's blowing me away tonight is these fantastic livery color schemes by this Lambos. I mean, I am an honest big fan of camo, and I probably sound very old school or whatever the case may be, but this is just fundamentally gorgeous just looking at these boys. Again, 5 o'clock in the morning race, we're not really going to see a lot of sexiness from a Lambo, but again, Italian on Italian at Monza, this is just going to be epic. Then of course we've got Duncan. Hey Duncan, welcome to the stream. Thanks for the support. Really love it, boys. I mean, if you just say hi or anything, it helps me. Keeps me entertained, but simultaneously keeps me talking. There we go. Health 666, Mr. Hutchings. So now I'm with you, Duncan. Well, again, I still have an ongoing bet here, boys, by saying that I think the console boys from a clean racing standard is far better than the PCOs. Now, I don't know whether the PC guys are more aggressive, but I'm yet to be proven wrong. Big ups to all the console boys that do come out and support us on Wednesday night. This week we don't have a race that we're going to feature. We just finished a season off last week. It was epic of all proportions, and I think the team is now brainstorming the next season. And I've kind of got the hint today, by the end of today, that my admin boys and teams have told me that we're going to start off a season next week, Wednesday. So again, ACC console season, Wednesday nights. Sounds like it's going to kick off next week, Wednesday. Apparently lots of good ideas, so it gives me a limited amount of time to actually build up the championship, which I'll do during the course of the week. So for those that are on console, keep an eye on it. We'll definitely post some things as soon as we can. I agree with you, Duncan. Console boys are absolutely amazing. And again, all these individuals, to be fair, most of these guys on PC tonight this evening started at console. Strijdom, Bullion, Robson, Greening, Van der Berg, Van der Merwe, Lee, Bullion, Duplessis, Green. All these boys are ex-console boys. So again, big love to console. We've always been a heavy fan of console. Again, as we'll say, console boys is also sim racers. Now, what did I see there? That is Sean Strijdom going to the back of the grid. Again, trying to make everything as difficult as he can. Not so sure if that's going to give him a penalty, but it doesn't. Nonetheless, Nel Bullion is the leader of the grid. He is going to kick it off, and let's see if he can actually win this whole race from where he starts, as everyone brakes so hard heading into the first chicane. A little bit of bumping here, looks quite clean. Again, only 13 cars here. Let's go back to the grid. Any serious incidents here and there? None. Like, this is actually quite good. Now, there's a bit of contact between people and individuals, but not, I would say, not something to really write home about and be awfully concerned. So far, for a lap 1 scenario, the boys are really behaving themselves. A bit of a gap there between Robson. Now Robson has gained a few positions. Slight gap there between Van der Berg and them. Plenty of action and side-by-side racing there. Now that does look to me like Greening is battling there with 5-8. Seems to have lost the position there. 5-8 being very aggressive, making the move where it needs to go. These boys are battling it out. Let's see if we can get some rear wing action. Just look at them running down the straight. Oh, side by side there. This is kind of what I call good racing. That is good action, side by side action by these boys coming out of Parabolica. And they still fighting it out, heading into the first chicane on lap 2. 4 cars nose to tail to each other. Who's gonna outbrake each other? Takes the inside line. Great respect shown there by these individuals. Ooh. And that looked like someone either outbraked himself. Missed contact there on car 52. Not 100% sure what happened there. Where is the back of the grid, Strijdom? He is still there. Now again, a bit of incidents and accidents. Let me see if I can find a replay there. Let's go back. Was that Strijdom in the mix there? Ooh, definitely someone outbraking himself there. I don't know who that is, but that surely looks like contact was made with Sean Strijdom there. So he has lost a bit coming out of there, and I think it's just someone outbraking himself in that final section. Again, big action here. field has broken up a little bit, but just look how close it is. Like everyone is within a couple of tenths of each other. Wasabi looks like he's got a brilliant race with him at this moment. Loving the look and the feel of the car at this moment. Let's just see how much he has gained. 2 positions from his qualifying session up. So is Van der Berg, so is Robson. Uvelin has stayed where he has remained. Now, of course, Stradom is there at the back, but I think he chose to go that route. Speed trap for these boys down the start-finish line is about 284 kilometers per hour. That's about the maximum I can see at this stage, and that was done by Kil van der Berg there. Which, in all fairness, that is phenomenally quick. So far, there we go. En Greening, fastest time past the speed trap at about 286 kilometers per hour. Now, I don't have the mathematical brain calculation on how much that is in miles. So that's got to be at least about 120, 130, probably 140. Those that knows the calculation in from kilometers to miles, you can probably work that out for yourself. Let's just see if I can locate how many incidents have we had thus far. I can pick up about 3 or 4 of them. Sadly, we don't have any live stewarding this evening. Normally we will have a bit of live stewarding that goes along with it. But I think because the grid is so small, we will deal with all those, I'd say, light fender benders afterwards. Now, let's go back in the action. I've got to find some action for everyone. It's all good having this data. Wasabi, on the other hand, is being chased down there by Kil van der Berg, who seems to be the fastest man coming down the start-finish line. Go back to Moy. Now this is where we see closer action by these 2 individuals. Another man going off the grid there. Lee Bullion, father of Nel Bullion, is currently the race leader, also the fastest lap timing individual with his base time of about a 150.6. So he's got some phenomenal pace. Stradom's not far off him though. Stradom's got a lot of work there. Lee Bullion is under severe pressure there by Moy. Moy looks on the inside, doesn't dive into it though. Reckons it's probably not a good idea to take that position during Les 1 and Les 2. This is where Nerves of Steel works out. Best exit out of Les 2. Coming out of there, and then maybe you can challenge for the position into Ascari. Moy getting far closer. Looks on the inside. Is he going to make a dive move? Yes, he is. Now he has to go all over the curb there. That then puts him under severe pressure there by Stradom. So Stradom is now all over the back of Moy. And again, Stradom was the man that out-qualified this bunch. Currently doing about the same lap times as the leader as he sticks his nose into Ascari. Look at me talking about Ascari. That's probably a shot for me just by calling it that one. Parabolica, my apologies. And then sticks him behind. He needs to get that slipstream. I do see that Sean's gonna go for the move. No, he doesn't. He proves me wrong once again. Ooh, Moy making a big mistake there. Tries to hop over the bumps there, or the curbs. That is not ideal. That is going to compromise his speed coming into Variante 2. Stradom has the inside line. This is about all space awareness and space giving. Again, Moy doesn't feel like he needs to challenge for that position though. However, in most circumstances, you can go side by side through that. And it's all about giving space and allowing space. But I think Moy is going to back off a bit. Does have the necessary speed and space to challenge Lee Bullion, but he is falling back more and more. I mean, now Duplessis is right on his rear end, and that's not going to make it much easier for him, because it sort of looked like he, I would say, buckled under the pressure. I think if he made the move with Lee Bullion into his car, he would have felt far better than what he is at this moment. Then again, he's doing the best he can. Back to the front of the grid, Wasabi and Kel van der Berg. These boys are far closer to each other, running similar lap times at this stage. Now again, Wasabi about 2 or 3 tenths quicker than what Kel is. Ooh. Big accident there for Greening. I don't know what happened to him, but that definitely looked like he had a severe accident somewhere out of Parabolica. Let's go see if I can have a look at that. So, yeah, this incident occurred way before Parabolica. As you can see, there's already damage on his car. So he just went in and head straight into the pits. And then of course, Stradom also back in the pits. Now what happened to Stradom? This is him going into Variante. All looks good. Again, I've only got a couple of seconds here to play with. Nope. I think I need to increase my replay time. Okay. Let's go back where the battles are. 2 boys in the pits. Again, this is gonna be race detrimental for them, because we got no pit stops, no nothing at all. Again, Sean Stradom not continuing on, so what has happened there? What has happened there? Wasabi, that looks like a broken engine. God is smoking, fuming all over the place. Now this is sort of the first time that I've ever seen. No, he's back into it again. That was very unusual. For some other weird reason, that realistically looked like the car was on fire. Well, the only thing I could see from my point of view is black smoke coming out of the rear end, and then his car just died. So whether he has pushed a button that has stopped his car or pressed something that's killed the engine, but poor Wasabi, who was in 4th position, has now dropped all the way down to 10th spot, which now opens the gap for Robson and Ullivan battling it out. Now, somewhere, Robson has managed to still stay ahead of Uvelin. And these boys are battling it out for podium positions. Now, from recollections, I don't recall Robson and car 764 ever being in a position to get a podium victory. So again, this is one of those races that he could actually capitalize on it and put his mark on the stamp there and go, I have managed to got a podium victory. So that will be fantastically amazing to him. I gotta go and see if I can find any information what has occurred to Stradom. Whether he is on the chat. Lee should unplug. Yeah, Katsu, that's a good point. Lee should go and unplug Nell's Wi-Fi. I love that comment. That's fundamentally a good one. So pedals failure. Oh, so that's what it was. Katsu, you have so much information. I really want to know, who do you talk to that you know all these details? So someone had pedal failures? Sheesh. That is just absolutely detrimental. And Duncan going to start up ACC. So go Duncan, get some ACC time with, get a bit of action. I'm sure this just excites you to just go out and race. Take out a Lambo, go to Monza, put down a couple of laps. I kind of wish you boys at Console could have this new DLC package. It really looks like a lot of fun. Again, we've heard about all the positive feedback that individuals have talked about last week during the Ferrari Imola race. And again, that did sound like it was epic. A pity I couldn't stream it though, because it would have been great to see. But this week we can at least see a couple of Lambos on track. So Italy is what I go with. These two boys are still battling it out, still in close proximation. Now if we look at where we stand here, Moy, in some other weirdness, has managed to pass Lee. Again, Moy did look like he was struggling at some point, and now he's back into his form. So I really don't know what has happened to him, but he looks to be like a superstar at this stage. Again, as is this championship, I mean, all points gained is points win. Next week we have Spa in a cup car. I really hope we can get like a couple of boys coming into the Spa race. Need to go out and promote it a bit more. Be more vocal as the racing continues. So let me see if I can get a bit of data for everyone. So currently as we stand, I mean, Nel Bullion is the fastest lap on track. He is smashing the best times now of low 1 minute 50s at the moment. He's the fastest sector 3 guy. However, to my surprise, that is Uverland flashing his lights. He is chasing down Robson. Robson seems to be the quickest man on track at the moment in sector 2. However, Uverland is really picking up the pace here, trying to get as best as he can. Now let's go look at the individual driver. Chasing down that Lambo. Ooh, as he gets a bit fiddly out there. Now that's gonna compromise his speed for sure. He just managed to keep that a bit more tighter. He would have been all over the track with that car. Bet you Uverland reckons he can potentially make a move on car 764. Robson making more errors. That definitely means he is very well aware that he's got a guy hunting him down. And from a pace point of view, they do run similar times, so let's look at this big rear wing. Again, Robson, too much curb on the inside. Uverland going out way too wide. These boys are just too anxious at the moment. Whether that is nerves or them looking at their rear view mirror or too much focus on the drivers itself. But these little errors are certainly creeping in throughout this race. Especially between these oaks. We're still going to keep an eye on that. We've got big battles going on here between Huracan and Van der Berg. Both of them looks like running similar liveries. Now I don't know if they are teammates, but I think they both love that color scheme. And I'd be honest, there is absolutely nothing wrong with a army green and a bit of orange tail on it. So these two boys are battling it out. They are the closest battles as opposed to what the boys in front is. We have another one here. Lee now being challenged by Wasabi. Now again, Wasabi was there in the top 5 rank. He subsequently dropped down, and I believe someone on the stream told me it would have been a pedal issue. Oh, so Katsu giving me all the details here. So the fight at Imola was actually quite interesting. Jens van Goevelen was fighting hard with Strijdom. Now that is something new to me. I mean, Strijdom, in my humble opinion, is an alien, but I will not take away the talent from Goevelen at this moment. He is a phenomenal quick driver. Now he didn't manage to put his time down and get the right, well, he got a good qualifying position, and I think based on the racing line, Robson just had the opportunity to take him on the outside during the race, which gave him the advantage though. So plenty of work between these three boys, and to be fair, this has become, yeah, it's still a two-way race. Wasn't sure who was that background guy. That looks like Greening for me. Yes, that is New Greening. Sadly, he is on his own this evening. But big ups to him for trying to finish the race. I mean, it's kind of what I like and kind of what we want to see, right? Like, let's just continue with the race and make it count. Let's see where we stand. This battle is still ongoing, but it's not as close as this one at the moment. These two boys are going at it side by side. Huracan wants the inside line. Ooh, both of them are hesitant whether to take it or not. Guessing Van der Berg was expecting a dive, but then that is again compromising his line, and that forces him very wide into Les. Ooh, contact between the two. No, again. That is a very, very tough call between these two drivers. I mean, in fairness, that is not the easiest circumstances to be at any given stage. Let's just see if we can go and have a look at that again. So, they go in to Variante. Very, very side-by-side racing. You can see them challenging each other, but then both of them extremely hesitant on what to do. And then that looks like Huracan just a bit too deep into that corner. Oh, and then causing a secondary collision there with Greening. Two back-to-back accidents there. Now he's got to sit and wait until everyone passes him before he can make the move. Now that is a detrimental race for him. And an unbelievable fortunate accident there. Brings you back to it. That's a hard one to call, I have to admit it. Both of them going side by side into Les is doable. But then it's all about how do you control, maintain that in itself. Now, many moons ago, I would probably say I was in a similar position where I was the driver on the inside line with a fellow racer on the outside line. And at that moment, I believed that I was potentially the guy in the right taking that move, but your peripheral vision would not have shown you how far wide you have gone already. So because you kind of want to get onto the acceleration out of Lesmo as quickly as you can, and that's to get as much speed as you can for Les 2. So I would, from my opinion, say it's a very tough call. From my racing background, and probably one of the individuals that can hold my hand up and state that I have been penalized in that circumstances, whereby I made contact with the driver on my left hand side coming out of Les, because subsequent to that I was advised that I should have given him more space. So tough one to call. I can't really identify who was wrong there, but it definitely looked like Hard Acre should have kept his car still, because that secondary contact was certainly unavoidable. Whether that be the following car or a leading car, that doesn't really matter. Hey, Paul. Hope the rugby is much better. To be fair, I don't think it's any better than what racing is. So I hope the rugby is very poorly. That is my honest opinion at this present state, because you are missing out on a spectacular race. Okay. Jay van der Merwe, car 67. Now he's being challenged there by Green at that stage. And Jensen Robson. Was there an incident? Oh, I'm gonna go and see if I can pick up on something. There had to have been one. Let's see if I can pick it up. 40 seconds is not enough time for me to actually see what went on there. No fairness, Robson has lost the position already, so Katsu, I think you've got something that I really missed out on. Alright, so back to the racing again. These boys are very close to each other. That was just my replay. Green all over the back of that for Lambo. JJ instantly going defensive. He's going to stick it to him right there. Then open it up. Is Green going to take the inside line? Yes, he is. I mean, if you open the door, that is the line you allow the guy to go. Now, Jay could have been very defensive of that, but he chose not to. That opened the door for Green. Sticks it on the inside line, makes a clean move. Van der Merwe wasn't really defensive there. But then again, this is all about enduring 1 hour of this race in a car. There's no pit stops here. There's no fuel requirement. These boys just have to race from start to finish in a Trofeo Evo 2 car. I definitely missed that. So I'm gonna go and look at the contact. So yes, there was definitely contact between 764 and car number 6, it says. And then of course 764 and car number 5. So Robson has been in 2 slight conditions that needs to be reviewed after the race. Fortunately, we don't have live stewarding tonight. It's one of our relaxing seasons we have. Hence we see so very few cars here. 12 cars on the grid on PC side at LNR. Sun is rising. And I'm kind of more happier because now I can see a bit of the cars at the moment. So let's go look at these sexy bad boys. I'm gonna go to Nell Bullion because Nell to me has got one of the nicest liveries on hand. Only if my camera feature can start showing it. There we go. Nell Bullion, leader of the pack, in what I would believe the nicest Lambo there with the orange. Looks spectacular. And I want to see if I can do a bit of camera angles here. Now that to me just looks absolutely fantastic. Beautiful livery in general. Like, this is a Lambo of note. And now Bullion is in second. So what has happened? Like, I'm missing all the action. Uvelin is the leader of the race. Uvelin hunting down for a championship victory. Now this is gonna just spiral the championship all over the place. Like, how did I miss that? Katsu, Neil off Lesmo 2, Jens in the lead. I think you know way more than what I do, Katsu. Like, I need to find out, where do you get all those details? Who are you talking to? Please tell me who is your service provider. Hey, okay. I need to put Katsu on the chatterbox here, because this man is certainly the man of wealth and knowledge and information. So, according to my contact, or our contact, Mr. Katsu has informed us that Nail has gone off in race 2. That has opened it up for Uvelin. Now, in all fairness, this does bring a good racing scenario with us, because the fastest lap man at the moment is Nell Bullion, and he is doing good 150s at this stage. Now again, he's not the only man doing these wonderful lap times. I mean, the top 4 at this moment are doing all in and around the 150 marker. Then we are followed by a couple of 151s between Green van der Merwe and then Wasabi again, chasing everyone down from the rear end. Now, he is battling it out there, getting closer and closer to van der Merwe, chasing him down with his black and gold livery there. The gap between them is less than a second. We don't have these beautiful open wing scenario of getting straight line speed, but from a lap time point of view, Wasabi is definitely 1 second quicker than car 67, which is van der Merwe. So van der Merwe will be challenged for position very soon. Wasabi going, using all the curbs there to try and gain and capitalize as best as he can. Now, from a sector 1 standpoint of view, these guys are evenly matched. However, it seems to be where we're within the sector 2, sector 3 scenario, where Wasabi is far quicker than his opponent ahead of him. Now Bullion still chasing down Uvelin. Now gap, again, I'm not going to go to that because the gap between them is about 1.5 seconds delta difference. They are running about the same lap times, equally matched at the stage, where the one gains, the other one gains as well. So Nell is trying to hunt him down, just smash down the best sector 1 for him at the stage. But I'm kind of looking at these boys at the moment. Wasabi losing a bit of time there to Van der Merwe. Nell doing so much at this moment. No. Within his last lap, he managed to do a best sector 1 and best sector 3 all round, but still have no answer to Uvelin. Now again, these are minute fractions of a difference. I just gotta outline it to you. I mean, the best lap from Nel Bullion is a 150.145. And then of course, Van Uvelin, fastest lap, 150.195. So you can see how close they are at this stage. And even from the last lap to the current one, it is only 1/10 of a difference. But Nel just doesn't seem like he can get closer to Uvelin there. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to the leader, give you guys a bit of a interior feel. What a beautiful scene from Jens van Uvelin there. And I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, because he is just driving like a madman at this moment. Battle here between Van der Berg and Green. Ooh, as that looks to be Van der Berg making a big mistake there coming out of his car. That unsettles the whole grid right behind him. Van der Berg losing, no, that's Green. Green that has lost so many positions. He's off, out, had enough of it. That is so unfortunate. Out of the race for sure. Retirement there by Green. So, I think it's about fair to state at this stage that even though these cars are phenomenally quick at this stage, it just doesn't seem like they are that easy to drive. I mean, looking on board at Uvelin, he really was sketchy coming out of his car, and then a couple of corners he was very sensitive to go back onto the power and throttle to get that car to move and turn. So my question remains to the boys in the grid, is this so much fun to race with? Yeah, no, Katsu, you are definitely the man that has got all the information on hand. And you are quick on the trigger, that's for sure. So, Nell is far off drift. Closest battle at this moment is these two boys. Just go and see if I look at the rear wing. Oh, Moy is challenging there. He's coming on the inside line. Got a better drive out of his car there. Panemarv is sticking it on the inside line, but I don't think he'll be in a position to defend that. No, decides to tuck in behind Wasabi. And that was a good move there by Wasabi. He went with it, got a better exit. Very dodgy by Panemarv out of his car. Now they're coming down the start-finish straight line. Is Panemarv going to challenge for position? Wasabi going very, very defensive. Comes back onto the line. No, he doesn't. Remains to be defensive. Throws it in deep over the curb there. Is he going to get away with it? Oh, it looks very tight though. That would have compromised a bit of his speed there for the Marva all over the back of him there. Is he going to go defensive? No, he doesn't. Sneak peek there for Marva. Decides to back off though. These boys need to be a bit more aggressive, huh? Again, good move there. Almost gave his position away. So much hard work. And then nearly lost it there coming into the first variante. Over the bumps and curbs as he drove. Kept his car still in a straight line. So he is definitely lucky he didn't spin off there. And he's going to try and hunt down Van der Berg, which is about 14 seconds adrift from him. So probably going to start feeling like a bit of a lonely race for this individual, but he has made it all the way up there. Let's go look at other individuals who I can talk about a bit more. Moy, on the other hand, he is currently in 10th place. Must be loving his race so far. Let's see if I can. Trying to give you guys a bit of a nice view and a nice look. There we go. Bit off track there at the moment. Sorry for that. I have to admit, I am a thorough fan here of the Ferrari, and the Ferrari is one of those tracks and cars that is just phenomenally awesome. Backing to Heli View. Panemarva and Wasabi still battling it out though. This is not yet finished, in all fairness. I think tonight I'm asking way too much out of my camera to do than what I used to, but I am of the opinion that I will play around a bit just to get a bit of interesting views and scenes. Some scenes we definitely have not seen in a while. But then again, this is racing. 17 minutes left to go. Small guys on the field. We only have 11 races left. Start off with, I believe about 15 or 16 boys. So a couple of individuals have dropped off. Lots of hard work for some of these guys. Plenty of work still to do. This does give me a moment to go and give a big up thanks to, of course, all our Patreon subscribers and those that actually support the community and so forth. Again, it does help us to do what we do best we can in the most professional manner we can. Katsu giving me a heads up there that the gap between Van Uvelen and now Bullion is far greater than what it was before, and he is absolutely correct. Nail really struggling at this moment, trying to keep and maintain his car on track. Again, this is Monza. It is very demanding in any circumstances. Once you lose a bit of concentration and focus, you need to rezone that back and then get back into the racing conditions. His last lap was 3 seconds slower to what his normal is. Let's just see what he does now. Yes, that's again back into the 150s. So he had to have made a mistake at some other point, which would have cost him that 3 seconds. But having said that, car 51 at the moment is just running away with it. 15 minutes left to go. A quarter of the race left, and if memory serves me correctly, this would probably be a victory to remember for Van Uvelen. Irrespective, you come up and you come and race today, whether you beat the best, whether you beat the fastest, or whether it's your first race that you've ever won in a long time, winning a race is always such a great feeling. So let's hope we can continue to maintain this gap and then just put it in there. He did look a bit overexcited in often cases coming out of Ascari, but then again, Ascari will make you nervous, doesn't matter which car you drive at the moment. I really don't believe there's a car that can go through Ascari without actually bending it into the wall. Unless anyone can give me some tips and tricks on how to drive through Ascari without being fearful that you will pin it at some other point. Robson, on the other hand, with his red, yellow and black camo car 764, putting down some good lap times at this moment. He is really hitting the low 1 minute 50s at this stage, so he is certainly comfortable doing the times he is doing. I mean, still creating that big gap between him and Van der Baar. And I still think we would have had a much closer race if we just didn't have some individuals that had unfortunate events and a bit of fender bending scenarios. No real pit stops was needed for Monza. No tire change requirements needed at any given stage. So full fuel for them and just to continue. And to be fair, I mean, 48 minutes into the race, and by the looks of it, everyone is sort of on the same pace that they started off with. It does look like it's getting a bit faster, but it doesn't seem like there's that much of a tire strain onto the cars itself, which is quite surprising. So technically it looks like these cars are actually quite gentle with tire wear. Doesn't really look like anyone is really struggling. Let's see if I can give a better boys screen time here. Lee Bullion currently in 7th position. Again, He is trying to chase down Fanamarvo, who is about 3.1 seconds adrift from him. So, marginal delta difference between these boys. Similar lap times, similar pace point. But again, from the last lap standpoint, Lee has done the fastest second sectors. I do want to see what is his fastest lap time though. About the same as his race time. So Lee has been quite consistent throughout. Race time and fastest lap times. Fairly consistent in between each other. His maximum speed though, past the start finish straight line in the last lap was about a 277 kilometers per hour. Neil Greening, on the other hand, seems to have smashed another record there, 286 down the start straight. That is phenomenally quick. I think Nell's been having the fastest lap for quite a while though, so... Ooh! Katsu, I'm gonna start asking you to come and commentate, because you just seem to have more data and information than I have. And I'm actually looking at two screens at this moment. I've got my screen with all the details based on race delivery and information. And the minute you indicated that he's done a fastest lap, I can go and look at it, and you are 100% correct. And then of course I've got a screen with all the details about penalties and who made contact with each other, and simultaneously looking at the race itself. So I'm reckoning you're gonna have to come up here at some point and commentate with me. Let's see, gaps are still very far wide from each other. Nell is slowly closing it up between him and Uberlin, but I think with 10 minutes on the gap, that's not possible. 10 stop go 10 seconds for Gale? That makes absolutely no sense to me. What has happened? See if we can pick it up. That's why. Oh, straight through the barriers, did not even stop at all. Of course, that is going to pass you a massive penalty, sending you back to the pit stop. Again, this is ACC, you cannot do that. Gale has worked very hard to make gaps. Doesn't seem like he managed to break where he needed to, and then decided to just continue straight on. Now, of course, you will be penalized. Stop go 10 seconds is definitely not what he would have expected, and if he doesn't do the pit stop within 3 laps, he will be disqualified. Now Bullion again, smashing it up with a very quick lap there, almost a full second quicker than Uberlin. So don't know what happened, but this man is on fire. That is a qualifying lap time there of a 1:49.7. That is phenomenally quick, as opposed to the last lap time from Uberlin, which is literally a second slower than him. So the gap is being reduced. I still don't believe there's enough time for him to make it up though. In some of the weird... He might be in a position to catch up, but I don't think he's got enough time to catch up and make the move though. He is fighting it hard to try and regain a bit of time on the 2 incidents he has made by coming off Lesmo, as validated and confirmed by my co-commentator on the stream, Mr. Katsu. Yeah, I would agree, Katsu. That doesn't seem like he took any precaution into that corner. He just went straight on, throttled it through at penalty provided to Van der Berg. Question is, when is he going to go into the pits? That is the big question mark at this moment. He still remains to give us... No, goes back, going to serve his penalty. And now, in all fairness, this is probably the walk of shame he did not want at any point. But he does need to serve this. This now puts Wasabi into 4th place. Van der Merwe will probably get a position as well. And I think Lee Bullion, as well as Greening. Oh, yeah. Kel van der Berg is going to drop a couple of spots for sure. I gotta look at it from a color scheme. I didn't know. Like I've said the whole race too, I am a big fan of those camo liveries, but there is just something about this red and green that is haunting my love for the Lambo way more than the camo. So let's look back at the lap times. Lee is still trying to nail, apologies, still trying to hunt down Uverlin. Again, they are both down the straight. You can see how close it is between these 2 individuals. 3.6 seconds adrift. Just look at this rear wing. There he is, far there in the background. You can see now doing the best he can. Now that looks very close from our viewpoint. It was a lot further than what that was quite a while back, but less than 4 minutes to go. I would potentially suspect at most 3 laps. At most 3 laps to go. So again, all Uverlin has got to go is not to submit to the pressure. Focus on his race. Don't look at the deltas. And just do what he's been doing the whole time. Great, consistent racing. Hey, so Kel van der Berg, who was in 4th, is now currently in 7th. After serving his penalty. Now he's got Lee in 6th, Van der Merwe in 5th, Wasabi in 4th, Robson still in 3rd. No real battles ongoing at this moment, with the exception of the leader trying to mitigate and maintain the gap between himself and Bullion. Car 51 and 58. Slightly closer, but somehow Uverlin has stepped up the gas, matching the times that Bullion is setting up at the moment. Both of them crossing the line with 150.2 flat out. Still the fastest guys on track. I Like, it's all about pressure and trying to hold that pressure. But I think fairly it's safe to say that Uverlin has got this in the bag. Might be a small grid. Might have had a few individuals that went off and decided to not finish the race. Again, technical difficulties, anything goes at this stage. Can't really justify why we've lost so many individuals. I can probably state why we don't have so many drivers on the track. Again, we are probably known to have about 20 plus cars on track. Very rare that we do. Ooh, no, big mistake there. I heard that. I definitely did hear that. In the background, made a massive error into a Scari. And the minute I heard that, yes, just look at that Lambo. Damage all over. Now let's see if we can pick that up. Oh, that is not a happy Lambo. It's into a Scari. Everything looks perfectly fine. Not too much curb there. Great exit. Ooh, a bit of... that was too much. Way too much. Tried to cut that corner too much. And that just sent him into the barrier immediately. Like, he is going to try and finish this with a very, very damaged car. Because there's absolutely no means for him to go into that pit. That is a very damaged Lamborghini. Uverlin, for sure, is his victory to take. And again, he doesn't really need to do much because he's not going to be put under any pressure by Bullion. I am, however, very curious as to how quickly can Robson catch up on Bullion, because again, this gap has dropped significantly. It was greater than 15 seconds before that accident. That has now gone down to about 6 or something less than 6 seconds different. So Bullion is being hunted down and going to potentially lose another position. I gotta go back, final corners through Ascari as we've got the leader of the race, Uverlin, going to take the checkered flag. First victory, I believe, for him in LNR. What a great drive. Absolutely great drive. Now Bullion, yeah, he's going to try and fight for second position as best as he can, but he's got Robson right on his tail. As he struggles with understeer, oversteer, twitches the car. Robson can take the victory, takes second place. Robson steals this from Bullion. Bullion in third. Oh, what a catastrophic race for him. Really didn't want to have that happen. I'm fairly honest, this was a phenomenal race. And excitement all the way to the end. Wasabi taking 4th position here. And again, not far from him, Dave Fanamara, car 67 in 5th. Lee Bullion will also cross the line soon. Again, he's being hunted down by Kel Fanamara, but Kel is too far away. So a big delta difference between these boys. Unbelievable. I am absolutely speechless as to how that has ended. Now Bullion making a big mess into Ascari on to the second last lap, who then manages to lose so many positions. Well, in all fairness, this is us. Race finish. I honestly think that was absolutely great to drive. Now let's go look at the timetables. Racing standpoint, Jay van Uverlin takes the victory this evening, followed by Robson by mere margins of a second there. Now Bullion in third, still the fastest lap, but that's really not going to count based on where he ended off. However, Wasabi in 4th, Van der Merwe in 5th, Lee in 6th, Van der Berg in 7th, Greening in 8th, Haraker in 9th, and then Moy closing it off in top 10. I have to admit, a few drivers, a couple of incidents here and there, something we will certainly look at after the race, but I think we can conclude Italian on Italian. The Lambo was probably a bit of a handful, but it looked like a lot of fun to do. I don't think we will ever feature this again unless there's a real demand for that. However, next week, boys, do catch us on the stream. We will be live Tuesday nights, ACC, at Spa with the Porsche Cup, same time, same place. And then, to my understanding, on Wednesday night next week, we will kick off our first race of the season 3 on ACC console. So don't be shy. Again, more information of that will follow by the end of this week. So let's keep an eye out for that. From everyone on the stream, I gotta give you boys a heads up and a thanks. Katsu, absolutely awesome, man. I love you to bits and pieces. You have been phenomenal. Everyone else that has commented and supported us, I thank you a lot. Until next week, same time, same place. Catch you everyone there. Thanks a lot. Good night. God bless.